to keep the pace, exactly, and sometimes the finish is, well, to good finish means more than a good start. And once again, not really a principal opening from GRISCHUK, starting with knight f3, d5, e3, but this usually transposes into something known, at least, kind of in a schematic way. Knight c3, bishop to e7, b3, and that's the line. That's the line KRAMNIK has played against KRAMNIK yesterday in the Rapid tournament. He has won a game.
Was the rook g1?
No, not with rook g1, of course. No. Rook g1 and g4, and this is something really
fresh.
Well, yeah, I've never seen in this position, let's put it this way, because the idea is known. When you put the bishop on b2, sometimes you're looking for g4, and sometimes even like with the pawn sacrifice, just going g4, knight takes, and then rook g1. So it does make sense, and in a way, White fights for a center like this, because he wants to kick this knight away.
Yeah, we already discussed that it's possible to fight for the center.
Not taking the center, yes. So now, for instance, g5, and... yeah, or maybe he can wait with this move for a little while. a6. a6 looks like, I mean, it's a serious move. He wants to play b5. I mean, even with a, with a pawn sacrifice, because Black has to organize some counterplay.
Well, the king will be in the center. The White's king,
I mean, especially
it will stay in the center.
If it's like b5 takes, then you are not castling long. That's I'm sure. Right, what could be the move for White here? I mean, g5 is one thing, but it needs the follow-up. I'm wondering about a move like queen c2 or b1 for this matter. So that I'll play g5 and then I want queen e4. Or maybe g5 to start with. g5, knight goes to d7, I expect, and then queen c2.
Don't you need the queen on d1 after g5 if Black plays knight h5?
Yeah, so that's why let's start with g5. If knight h5, then I'll think maybe bishop e2
if knight
or
h5,
something.
can I play knight e4?
g5, knight e8, so we were both wrong. I mean, this knight goes to e8. And h4,
well,
very straightforward.
If you said a, then
very straightforward. So h4, h5, not defining the position of the queen, which is clever apparently, because we were arguing if we need queen on d1, on c2. Well, let's see. Right, so h4 is the move that he wants to, I mean, he decided that he needs it anyway, and well, about the queen's position, White is not certain just yet. I'm afraid Black will need to play f5 at some point. I mean, just to close some files. No, KRAMNIK doesn't think so. He goes knight d6, maybe putting the knight on f5 in this case.
Well, at least White plays quite straightforward, right?
Yeah, an f5 played. f5, making it a little bit awkward for White, because that's the only moment you can take. En passant, immediately after your opponent played this move, and then bishop f6, and at least Black gets some activity.
What about h6?
h6 is
g6 and the knight to f4 somewhere.
Very interesting move as well.
Knight f4.
h6, g6 to make sure that you have access to those squares, and then
knight e2. Even knight e4, knight f4.
To knight f4. And then to h5, and then when he takes, play g6.
Well, but I mean...
this is a bit too optimistic scenario, but who knows. Other than that, well, actually... yeah, it's either you take on f6, that's one thing.
Yes,
or you go for something like that. You go h6 and then start... well, h6, g6 is a nice inclusion. Then you might not be forced to move the knight. You can also consider d4. Bishop e2, so none of the above happen. Bishop e2,
and we see the time. The time is, for the moment, KRAMNIK is doing well.
But what's
in terms of time?
What's the
plan?
Not like the point of bishop e2. I mean,
because
you
it's not really. I mean, developing. Usually, we develop those pieces in order to castle, right? And here there is no really way to castle.
In terms of mobility, it's not that bishop on e2 does something it was not doing from f1.
Well, who knows? Maybe h6, g6, knight
h4,
and bishop h5 at some point. Well, why not?
Sounds not realistic for the time being, but who knows? Bishop e2. Well, what I understand now, that it's also not that easy for black to make a move, because e5 you give your opponent access to d5 square.
Okay,
That's
and if I
what
play
you don't
knight
want.
e4, for example,
Knight
trying
e4
to eliminate
is the move.
the
yeah.
defender on f3.
Knight e4 is the move, but then I guess h6, g6.
h6, you think he's going to move the pawns? Oh, I'm not sure.
That's like a...
I thought maybe he can ignore this move somehow.
So like not protecting the g5 pawn.
Not protecting.
No, well, I had some
Okay,
forcing
rook b8.
idea in mind, like after knight e4 to go h6, g6, to take on e4 to go knight e5. Then if you take g5, I was kind of hoping
Yes,
it's dangerous.
to use a g file.
Rook b8, and it feels like this king is not castling long anyway, so it
No,
might be
he
useful
will be staying
to...
in the center.
Or king f1, right? a4, so denying the possibility of b5 for a little while.
But just for a little while, because then,
Bishop d7, yeah, well, let's be fair, black will play b5 sooner or later.
yeah.
Black will play b5 sooner or later. I really like to get my queen
D4.
in the business, and therefore d4 is the move.
Despite the fact that the king is in the center.
King will be relatively safe on f1, I guess. I mean,
think so?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
takes, we take with the pawn, and white has all the space. White has, I
I'm
mean,
not so sure, because he will
starts
take
having threats.
knight
takes with
e4, queen a5, bishop b4. I don't know. Yeah.
Knight e4 is played, okay.
So this d4 move opened up the king's position.
Yeah, wait, but if I just take and get knight d2, and then some queen a5, or...
I don't believe in it. I don't know. Maybe e3 first, and then bishop takes g5.
Then I was happy with knight e4 actually, but then
I'll
you take on
on
e3,
and
and once
there
again,
are
not
checks
in
from
time.
two sides.
Not in time. Yeah, gets unpleasant counterplay with this knight e4. Maybe d4 indeed was a bit too optimistic. Unless no, d5
Well,
is
d5,
nothing,
I mean,
yeah?
you can try, but I don't believe it's gonna be enough. After even bishop b4.
But then I take on c6, then this I'm not sure, because the d7 bishop is hanging. You take on c3, I take queen d7, that's messy again.
Messy, but not enough messy.
Knight takes, pawn takes, knight d2. Now, okay. I mean, you've managed to convince me that this is not good after
Of course.
e3, but...
I just said that it's very bad. You know, you need to just say things with enough self-confidence.
Okay, so one more time.
E3,
yeah, but e3 pawn takes, bishop g5. Oh well, I have queen b3 in this case, and I'll be running to d1. Maybe that's the idea. Maybe that's the idea, because otherwise I don't really see what I'm supposed to do.
Maybe.
Yeah, but what am I doing after queen a5 in this position?
Yes, that's also a good
That's a
question.
serious question, because e3 is
Maybe you
a
want to
threat.
play
Bishop
queen
takes
b3
g5
anyway.
is a threat. And
Queen
then
b3
after bishop
now-
g5 I'm castling long.
Oh, no. I
about
thought
what?
of bishop c3, but maybe.
Bishop c3 I do have. Yeah, you're right, I do have bishop c3.
But after queen b3, I can also consider queen f5 at some point. But then queen f5, queen e3, knight b4. Trying to...
Yeah, feels like, well, just a few moves ago it looked like white clearly was the side who was attacking, but...
Well, he was attacking, but it was
I'm
not clear enough
no
whether this
longer-
attack...
I'm no longer sure, and no, you know what? How about rook takes f2 in this position?
Well,
Rook takes f2.
Oh.
Yeah, and he played it, look.
nice.
So that if the king takes, it's queen d2 and rook f8 is coming. If bishop c3, he can take on e2, or he can just play queen f5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's actually tends to be fairly bad for Grishchuk.
You see, kids, you need to develop and castle. Even strong
okay,
grandmasters
yeah,
sometimes don't manage to play in a creative way.
He was absolutely fine. He
Are
was
you sure?
absolutely, just
You sure?
d4 was, yeah, d4 think d4 was the mistake. I mean,
Yes,
before
it
that
looked like it.
looks
Yeah,
really
definitely.
nice for white.
I'm not sure about nice, but well, it seems like Mamedyarov already finished his game.
Yeah, since he's watching this one, yeah, let me see. Let me see. We do have some results. Mamedyarov has won against Swidler, and Daniil Dubov has won against Vishiana.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, what, my friend Peter? I mean, how he is doing? Because he keeps losing games.
Well, it's blitz.
I don't really see. Yeah.
No, sometimes
But
when
he
you lose a
lost
game,
like
that
2,
means
3 in
that
a
you
row.
lost concentration. And in blitz, it's really
Right, so rook f2
pricey.
was answered with queen e3, rook to f5, and then castle long.
okay.
After
But
which
here, just
Kramnik took on a4, knight e4, knight b4 threatening mate, rook to d2.
well, miracles happen. I
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
especially in
White
blitz.
has ideas of his own, like
Yes, of
you know,
course.
knight f6. I mean, it's too late to be afraid of something. I just have to play knight f6 and pray that there will be
And-
some.
Yes.
Rook to
it's,
c8, bringing more pieces, and then what? Then you have to go knight f6, Sasha. No, knight to c5. Which
well,
is
knight f6 was a good try, but it's. I mean, I can even ignore it, right? I can even play king h8 because.
well, knight c5 on the other hand. I mean, if you take, you open the diagonals. It also. I mean, it also
and you
makes
also
sense,
cover
right?
somehow. You
So
cover the
makes
c
sense.
file.
Nepomniachtchi has finished the game against
He lost to Nakamura.
Hikaru Nakamura. I think Hikaru has won. Yeah, that's it. Karyak and Fedoseev
You
have
see, queen g3. You
roughly
see,
equal
something is going
position.
on.
Well, first of all,
I don't
Kramnik-
know what's going on after bishop takes g1. I don't
Kramnik
really
has
see.
sacrificed. Okay, it's not really like sacrificed in exchange because he can always take it back on g1.
Right.
Yeah, but the position looks in such a way that black has to have, some forcing solution. No, I mean, maybe there was, but he failed to find. He has taken the rook.
Well, sometimes
queen
it's
takes.
tricky,
And I have to say that if
bishops,
White
pair of
gets to
bishops.
play something like queen d4, he's no longer than bad.
And you see, he
Yeah, and apparently Kramnik is very short on time because he's the way he made his last move, it was clear he was very
well,
nervous.
GRISCHUK is
Queen
also
d4,
kind of.
isn't he winning now? g6 takes rook e7,
Aye.
queen h4 resigns. Queen h4, white is completely winning. The rook is hanging, queen h7 is coming.
You see,
Check from a2.
miracles happen.
King b1, but what's then? King b1, knight c3,
That's
bishop
it.
takes. Yeah, it's just
That's
like
over
giving
for
away
King
the
c1,
pieces.
yeah.
King to c1, a check
Okay.
here,
Well, he will.
but then even rook, bishop
Well-
d1. Yeah, bishop d1 and then e7, rook is gone.
Okay, well, very unfortunate.
No way.
Very unfortunate loss
No
for
way
Kramnik.
he can do anything. No
Oh.
way